everyone, welcome to week 6. This week we're going to be talking about immigration and the additional arrival of immigrants throughout the country. And we're also going to talk about the Americanization process as it applies to Native American women. So we talked a little bit last week about the challenges Native American women faced after the Civil War ends. So we're going to continue that discussion and focus on the Americanization process as it applies to Native American women. We're also going to be continuing our talks about women's reform efforts, and we're going to talk about the settlement house movement, primarily in urban areas, as a way of helping newly arrived immigrants adjust to life in the U.S. Our seminar is going to be held Wednesday evening, March 10th, and as always, check the written transcript after this video to find the time for our seminar. In terms of the seminar, there's a couple points you'll want to think about. We'll be talking about how family life differed for these newly arrived immigrants from the native-born Americans, even including individuals who had been here just for one generation. We're also going to continue our talks about race and class, and we'll talk about how assumptions regarding race and class and women's involvement and reform, so thereby gender, also impacted decisions made by the government, society, etc. And then we'll consider our theme of domesticity that we've been talking about for several weeks now, and whether that has changed or not with women's involvement and reform efforts, and in particular their involvement this week and the settlement house movement. So think about those concepts for the seminar, and also we'll think about those and talk about those points on the discussion board this week. So in terms of assignments, we have a couple of things for this week, and our projects are back, so we do have some writing for this week. You'll want to read Chapter 7 in our Du Bois text, Through Women's Eyes. You'll also want to respond to both questions for the Unit 6 discussion board. So that means you'll want to respond to the initial question for both questions and also to at least 2 classmates for both of those questions. So you'll have a total of 6 required responses for the discussion board for Unit 6. And if you're able to attend the seminar, please do so. And if you're not, make sure that you check out the seminar transcript, which is usually available by Thursdays at around noon Eastern, so that you can see what we talked about, and if nothing else, at least check out the tips for the Unit 6 project. And speaking of that, we do have a project this week. This week we'll be talking about, for our project, we'll be talking about the Americanization process of Native Americans, so Native American Indians. We're not talking about immigrants in this paper. We're specifically focusing on Native American or Native American Indians. So we'll be talking about the boarding schools, for example, in this paper. You'll want to consider the boarding schools. You'll want to consider whether this was a forced process for Native Americans. You'll want to think about the reservations. The reading of this week will talk about standing in ration lines, for example, in terms of waiting for food or supplies. So think about those points in terms of the Americanization process. Think about English literacy skills as part of this process as well. Again, keep in mind that this focuses specifically on Native American Indians and not the immigrants. So hopefully those points will help for the project. If you have any questions, as always, just send me an email. If you see me in IM, send me an IM. And as a quick plug too, make sure that you take advantage of the services provided by Linda, our writing coach for the course. She can be found through the Writing Coach Discussion Forum under Course Home on our course home page. So have a fantastic week, everyone, and I will see you on the discussion board, and I look forward to our conversation this week. Take care.